This is high school survival. I'm going to pull out both of the generators and test them both for their monthly tests. I didn't really have to mow the lawn this month, so I didn't get to use the electric leaf blower, which is my usual test load on these things. But this guy hasn't been running a little bit, so I figured I'd give him a run. Just an FYI, I always like to just quickly check my oil. The problem with this is it gets all over the place in moving this and that. It looks like I have about 5 times too much oil in there. So the best, I like to wait until it cools down a bit and then just check it. But it's good, it's clean oil, because this thing is so rarely used. And I probably should still give it a change. And I'm going to pull this thing out before I do. They say first of all, it'll go 4 hours on a gallon at 50% load. And this is my big one. This is what would run washing machine or anything like that. It's a 2500 surge, 2000 continuous. It has 220 amp receptacles. And it's nice. It has a lot of power. It's only 120 though, but it is loud. And when I compare it to, sorry, I'm blocking the light here. When I compare it to, say, the new one, the Champion that I just bought, this thing is a gas guzzler, in a big way. But I'm still going to fire it up. I have my kilowatt out here. I'm just going to kind of show you how I'm going to do this here. I'm not going to start next to the gasoline cans or in the garage, so don't worry. I have a fan out here. I should probably turn on the lights out here. Maybe I'll fire up the radio. I'll plug in our freezer, which is buried over there. Let me turn on the lights out here. There we go. I have a fan out here. I'm just going to try to run a couple loads. It's always, when you test it every month, you want to run it under load, that's the key, because not only does the engine need to be exercised, but the generator head needs to be exercised, otherwise it'll demagnetize. And there are plenty of easy ways to fix that, but I'd rather just not deal with it. So anyway, I have my heavy-duty extension cord out, and my splitter there, kilowatts right here. So I'm just going to set this up quickly, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. This is what it sounds like from inside. It is smoky right now. It needs to burn off some of the crap in there. So I'm just going to run the cord out. It's warming up right now. Always let it warm up a little bit. And just an FYI, I have the muffler pointed away from the house. No one else is in the house, so I'm not too concerned right now, but just in case, it's a rough warm-up. Alright, she's warming up now. Alright. As you can see, hang on, sorry about the shaking, I'm trying to get the cord out here. Alright, as you can see, I have power in here. Now this is made for 15 amps. It's all heavy duty. It's a heavy duty cord. I'm just going to plug in the kilowatts so you can see what we're doing here. Sorry about the shaking again. Alrighty. Alright, we're doing about 125 volts, which is almost perfect. 62 hertz. About 60 hertz, there we go. Now this is it's a cheapo Jenny, so it's not going to be perfect, and I wouldn't use it with expensive electronics, but I've used it without problem with the TV and etc. So I'm going to plug in the fan. Sorry about the shaking. Alright. And I'm going to fire up the fan. There we go. You can see the hertz are stabilizing just a bit. I've turned the fan on high. Volts are down just a bit. We're using 0.4 amps, about 146 watts. So there you have that. Generator's doing just fine with that. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to plug in the freezer, alright? Alright, the freezer just kicked on. According to this, we're pulling about, sorry, you can't see it, but we're pulling about 113 watts. So, that's that. That should be about right. Alright, hang on, I'm going to plug this back in. Alright, that's been a successful test on the part of this Johnny. The major key here is to get the fuel flowing through the system. Now I'm going to turn this thing off, let it cool down, then I'm going to pull out the other one. I'll be right back. Alright, as you can tell, the Champion is much quieter than the Coleman 2500. It's only 1200 watts, so it's a smaller engine. I feel like an absolute idiot right now because I could not get the darn thing started and I realized I hadn't turned on the engine switch. So, that just goes to show you got to try everything. Now this thing is nice because it has a built-in voltmeter. And this thing will go for about 10 hours on 1.5 gallons of gas. Much better than the Coleman. So I'm going to plug in and see what happens. Let's see what this guy will do. The major key is that he can run the freezer. Alright. 130 volts. This one's a lot higher than the Coleman. About 62 hertz. Let's see what happens when I plug something in. Alright. See, I plug something in, the voltage drops quite a bit. Personally, I like the Champion much better than the other one. Now, just for fun, I'm going to leave that plugged in, and I'm going to run an extension cord over to the freezer. As you can see again, everything needs to be, where's this cord go? Sorry about the shaking again. Everything needs to be able to carry high amperage. It looks like this cord's almost on its last legs, but it should do. I'll see if I can get it to kick on here. There we go. Alright. Now the freezer's going. Let's see what we're doing now. Alright. Perfect. We're doing very good. 115, that's almost exactly where it should be. You can hear it's working a little harder now. Ah, that means the fridge just kicked off. Is it kicked up? Yep. Alright, I'm going to disconnect that thing. Alright, I'm going to shut down. Just thought I'd show you the generator. Sorry again about the shaking. Oh, I'm actually going to leave a load on this. Now, the way I like to turn this off is I like to use the fuel shut-off. Now we wait. This is the longest part. You can tell how efficient it is because it takes a long time to shut off. I'm leaving a load on it, so it's using a little more power. Here, let's try this. I'll have a little fun. Sorry again. I should still be getting decent juice through here. There we go. Okay. Just thought we'd have a little fun. I know it's an old radio, but it's probably EMP resistant. Now, just for the fun of it, let's see how we're doing with, whoops, sorry about that. That was my bad. I'm just going to set that down. We're surging now. I can hear it. Yep. It's starting to surge. It's running low on fuel. So you can see the hertz going up and down. I'm actually going to turn this off. There we go. Never mind. There you have it. Coleman powermate 2500, Champion 1200 watts. Usually the Champion goes for about $230. I got it on sale at our local farm and fleet for about $150. So I thought that was a good deal. I couldn't pass that up. So anyway, I'll let the equipment cool down and I'll put it back into the, put it away. Just thought I'd show you some more of our backup power, excuse me. But anyway, the freezer, as you saw, I'll need to reset this to the right temperature. I had to turn it down to get it to kick on. Sorry. The freezer uses right around 100 watts, give or take. Sometimes it uses more, sometimes it uses less. But just running our refrigerator, we have 2 refrigerators in the freezer. That stuff is still, it's going to be less than half load. So that means that I'll get a little more than the 10 hours to the 1.5 gallons. Technically it's 1.45 gallons it'll go the 10 hours, but I mean, you saw how long it took for it to shut down this time with a load of about 50 watts. So I'm just going to let that cool down now. I'm going to get this all picked up before my parents get home. Thanks for watching. Hope I gave you some ideas. I really like the Champion. It's quiet. It has good load response, and from what I hear, it's very good with electronics. So, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.